What is up, all you GBA type people? This is Tom, and I'm here bringing you guys the Pick'em Crew Week 2. That rhymed. So, a little bit of housekeeping before I end up going into the picks this week. First off, I did read a lot of your comments. Some very good suggestions. A lot of things I will consider, such as this week, I'm alone again, unfortunately. Just hear me out. I did plan on having Makati, aka Will. He's one of the guys who does pick the games each week with us. However, our time schedules didn't quite work out. However, now that I know who I'll be talking with each week, he will be on the show from every week on. So just bear with me on that one for this week. I know this whole one-man deal is kind of boring. Could go for a little more discussion. I get that. Also, each week I have now decided that each week the analysts are going to add a little sentence or two about their lock of the week and then about any other matchups that they picked for the week. Now, on our doc that we call the picks, that it'll be on there. I'll read them out. Makati will be talking about them with me, and each week we'll have a short discussion. This isn't going to be like a half-hour long panel. Makati and I kind of want to keep this video under 10 minutes, so it'll be a brief discussion. A lot of the games, like you guys might have noticed last week, are similar, where the analysts kind of agree on what games they think are locks and what games they think are a little more up in the air. You'll have your exclusive picks where it's all the same coach being picked, and then there's other weeks where it's split, or there's like an upset, like we saw last week with a Tup and Gubs, even though Tup played on point. So, with that being said, I will discuss this week's picks right now. So, looking at the image for this week, you'll see that myself, Baby Nick, both have the Borussia Donphan as locks over the Pittsburgh Piratas. You'll see Blue, aka CantoCast, having the St. Louis Rampardos as a lock over the San Francisco Giants, as well as, oh man, there's a lot of different picks. Makati having Boston picked over Milwaukee. Burke having the Arizona Deoxys as a lock over the Long Island Red Rockies. And finally, Kelly, aka Under the Radar, having his pick of the week being the Sacramento Sea Kings over the Cincinnati Loud Reds. Now, like I said, you'll see the comprehensive and all-inclusive tallies here on the side. Now, the Week 2 totals, obviously that'll be blank because, you guys don't know who got each game right, as we'll all know on Sunday. But the lock of the weeks and the overall up-to-date pick totals, those will be updated each week as the games have been played and uploaded. So with that being said, I will go into the small descriptions that each analyst submitted for their lock of the weeks. So starting off with me, I said for my pick of Lars over Tup that Lars' planning and play is on point, and it was effective and thorough last week in week 1. He's a force to be reckoned with in the GBA, and I think that even though the Piratas played very well and their team was very well constructed, I think Lars is just a little bit better, and in doing so, he will succeed over Tup. In addition, I said that the match between the Real Maril and the San Francisco Arcanizers will be a lot like George's match last week against the Borussia Donphan, because I think it'll be a low-scoring game with 1 to 2 mons left. However, I think Miguel is going to come out on top just the same way that Lars kind of beat George last week. Moving on, we have Kelly's lock for the Sacramento Sea Kings. Now, Kelly loves the Sacramento Sea Kings this year. I think he's in love with their wall core, but he's also in love with how Hayden uses his offense. Now, Kelly said that Malvone's hyper offense can't really withstand the insane bulk that Hayden has, and he believes that Hayden can take on Malvone very easily across all of his insane offensive forces. He believes that Hayden's offense matches up very well with Malvone's defense, putting defense in quotes, and that Hayden's wall core will succeed over Malvone's threats offensively. Moving on from there, we have Burke with his lock being the Arizona Deoxys over the Long Island Red Rockies. Now, he thinks that Gubs' strong sweepers plus his defensive counters will be enough to get Gubs through this match. Now, through this match doesn't sound as confident as one might expect, but he really thinks that Gubs wants to win, especially after the way he lost last week against Tup. From there, we have Baby Nick's lock of the week. And again, guys, next week I will match these up so I talk about the same team in more of a progressive way, and Makati and I'll have a much better discussion. But for this week, just bear with me here. Baby Nick said that Lars will get at least a 3-0 victory with Azumarill sweeping late game, and he thinks that especially because once Celebi goes down, Azumarill doesn't really have as many checks, or any checks at all, that won't allow Azumarill to sweep through the remainder of Tup's team. Second to last, we have Blue, aka Candlecast. He thinks that the Rampardos with Victini and Quagsire will put in work if Dan decides to bring them both this week, because I think that they just have a very solid matchup against Geo. And finally, my co-host, not here, he said that the Boston Red Sox will win over the Milwaukee Saucebucks because he thinks that with Steve only having one defogger in Skunk Tank, and with Nick having the capability of getting up Sticky Web, it'll allow Nick to dictate the pace at which Steve plays, as well as allow Mega Gardevoir to be much less of a threat because Nick has things like Manaphy as well as Tyrantrum. So he has a means of outpacing Steve's Fastermons once Sticky Web is up. Now, who knows if that's actually going to be Nick's game plan, but it's a very solid idea for which Makati has predicted. Now, again, this series is a work in progress. So each week, something will be changing, small adaptations, a means of making this better and better every week. So don't expect the way that the format is for these first 2 weeks to continue on and on. The series, I hope, will get better. My vision will come to life more and more as this series develops. So, hope you all bear with me. Hope you enjoyed. Again, I know it's only me talking. It's going to be a little bit longer, but next week, like I said, Makati and I will go into a little bit more depth, have a little bit better of a discussion, and I think it'll be a much better show. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this week. And as always, leave your picks down in the comments. I love reading them. I love seeing what you guys think. And if you guys want to as well, keep a tally of your picks from last week and see how well you do up against all of us. I'd love to see that towards the end of the season. And, just keep track of your totals. Let's see what happens, and hopefully that idea will develop later on. As always, this is Tom. Have yourselves a great day, and look forward to Sunday.